Okay, no, I'm patting myself because I am in the presence of royalty. She does not know this, but I was 16 years old when I was first introduced to this woman because as a 16-year-old, I would watch endless of hours of the Oprah Winfrey talk show that would come on every day at 4 o'clock p.m. on Channel 7 in Detroit, Michigan. And this beautiful Black woman was giving this amazing advice, and I was a student, and I was 16. So 30 years later, I still consider myself to be a student of this woman. So I am blessed to be in the presence of someone who I consider to be one of the professors of, talk show hosts. Ladies, gentlemen, gays and bays, give it up for the IYANLA VANZANT.
Thank you. Why'd you have to put that 30 years in there?
I need the world
to talk dirty.
Not dirty. I need the world to know that you aren't new to this. You are true to this. And when I say true to this, you are true to the philosophy of helping people. And I'm serious when I say I remember watching episodes of you not only sharing the stage with Miss Winfrey, you literally being in the audience and you talking to the people, you're of the people, and your method changed me. You gave so much wisdom, and the beauty of your method, Miss VanZandt, was you never talked down to people, and you always met people where they were at. And here I am sitting across from you. So the 16-year-old Carlos King, okay, you have no idea what that means to that teenage boy who studied you and marveled at you. And I'm just grateful and thankful that you decided to say yes to us having a chat about your newest project, but, just about the wisdom of the world you operate in.
Thank you so much. I sometimes forget how long I've been doing this. So thank God for consistency. Mm-hmm. Thank God for commitment. Mm-hmm. Things that people don't really embrace so well today, whether in their relationships or their vision or their life. Consistency and commitment.
And that's something you have been doing for so long, because even as we get into the latest on Ms. Winfrey's network, the world knows this. Some of them do, but back in 2010, when Ms. Winfrey had the final season of her talk show, I was blessed to be one of the people that she hired to follow her last season, season 25. Right. And it was the first show that launched the Oprah Winfrey Network. And I remember you being a guest that season. And it was a powerful conversation that you and Ms. Winfrey had just about, well, I thought this, well, I thought that, well, I did this. And it was a great conversation about just like misunderstanding and forgiveness. And I bring that up to say, where you are in your life right now, as we see where the world is, talk to us about as right?
As my face shows.
Yes, talk to me about the power of forgiveness, especially as we tap into your latest airing on January 17th on OWN.
Well, it's not only about forgiveness. I think that that particular episode, which was actually 2 episodes, it's about how to have a clean, clear, complete conversation. And I'm not real sure that people have conversations today. They talk about each other. They talk to each other. Do they speak with each other? And so we had a clear, clean, complete conversation. And if you remember, when I first walked down on the stage and I sat down, I asked Lady O, that's what I call her, mm-hmm. Miss O, for her forgiveness. And she said there's nothing to forgive. But we still needed to have the conversation to clear the underbelly. What she thought, what I thought, and we went back and forth for hours before she said, I got it. I got it. And truly the issue was mine. She had her part, but that wasn't my business. My business was my part. And my part was an issue of unworthiness, where there was a part of me that still didn't feel worthy, that I deserved what she had given me. So here, the number one ranking woman in daytime television gives you an audience. And what do? You blow it up. And many of us do that. Many of us are doing that today, blowing our lives up with the choices we're making or not making, the things that we're supporting or not supporting, the things that we tell ourselves. We're blowing our lives up. And so when it comes to forgiveness, I think folk who are in difficulty, suffering, struggle, what do you need to say and to whom? Get that set.
Mm-hmm.
And then forgive yourself. Don't worry about forgiving other people. Yeah.
I've always wanted to ask you this question because it's something that I am currently going through.
Oh, goody. Gossip.
And y'all are okay. No. And it reminded me of that conversation that you and Lady O had, where you did talk about the fact that, you know, you had the main stage, and I remember Ms. Winfrey saying, I gave you my stage.
I know, right?
Like, I gave you my
What
stage.
did you think that was?
What did you think that was?
Yeah.
And I remember, you know, so Barbara Walters approached you to do a talk show, and you felt like, well, I got this opportunity now. And Ms. Winfrey was saying, we were getting there, but there needed to be some development. And you talked about this now, about the worthiness. Talk to us about imposter syndrome, because one of the things that happens to people, and I do want to apply race to it just for the sake of this conversation, because I do feel like when it comes to Black people who are the first generation of being successful in their families, we don't oftentimes, like our white counterparts, where they have legacy of white successful parents, we don't have the education of someone teaching us the way to go about handling the fortune that God has designed for you, and whether or not you feel like you're worthy of it. And sometimes when you have the opportunity, it falls through your fingertips because sometimes you don't feel like you're worthy of it. And then you oftentimes do feel like you're owed more. So talk to us about that, because it's something that I feel like is so relatable when it comes to your story. Because when I look at you, and I've always felt this way for 30 years, I think you are the I and the T. And I think you are one of one. And I think you are the sheer definition of a woman who was meant for everything you've attained, and you're meant for so much more, even today.
Well, you got about 5 questions in there. Imposter syndrome, unworthiness, the one who made it out. The one who made it out, baby. I was the one who made it out. And speaking to usins, let us first understand that we are a communal people. Very real. I know growing up for me, I didn't even have a name. I was Horace's sister, Mr. Horace's daughter. You know, so when somebody say, well, what's your name? Oh, that's so-and-so's people. That's such and such. It's genetic for us. It's cellular. So when one of us makes it out, whether it's the job or the money or whatever it is, we have an internal thing that happens that we got to drag everybody with us. We got to bring everybody along. We got to go back and give and give and give and give and give and give. And so that has kind of a dual thing. Number one, we're feeling that, but those back there sometimes feel entitled to our success, our money, our whatever it is, which then sets up for us a level of resentment inside. You know, I'm glad to give this to you all, but, you know, come on, let's do this together. And I think where the imposter syndrome comes in is in us pulling others along, and they still need that. We're almost wondering, well, am I still that? Is that still me? And if I'm here, how come I still have to carry that? You know, and no disrespect, because none of this is conscious. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's sitting around thinking, why do I have to be bothered with these people? Them,
Right.
But when they call for more money, you do get a little itchy. Also, when it happens very quickly, we see this over and over and over. When it happens very quickly, and we're not really grounded in the vision of it, the purpose of it, and success happens really quickly, you do feel kind of like an imposter. Like, do I really deserve this? Did I really get this? Is this some kind of fluke, and what's going to happen? And so it's hard. And then being the one that made it out For me, I didn't have anywhere to look to see how to do this. Nowhere. My grandmother was a domestic. My father was a number runner. My uncle was a bootlegger. Okay.
Mhm.
My aunt was a stay-at-home wife who kept children in the basement for $10 a week. Where am I looking at how to be a New York Times bestselling author? Where am I looking at how to have more money in the bank than bills? Where am I looking? Okay. So I was a millionaire and still broke because I grew up thinking you've got to be out of money to get money. The day before payday, you eating whatever you can scrape together, making $1 million and still broke because of the consciousness. All of this is unconscious. So how can I be making $1 million and still be broke? Imposter. Because the universe will conspire with your most dominant thought. The universe will conspire to make it true. So all of that, I think I've lost track of your questions. But
No, so how do you get out of that? Because one thing that you said 30 years ago that I still tell my family and friends and myself today is never say you're broke.
Right.
Say you are temporarily out of cash.
Yeah, but we don't even have to be that anymore. We just have to be in the flow. And to stop doubting our worthiness. Here's two things. Let me say two things.
All right, Raindrops. As you all know, I am a huge fan of Destiny's Child, who are one of the biggest girl groups of all time. So check this out, Atlanta, Georgia. They are bringing the Destiny's Child reimagined tribute to your city. The music that defined a generation will be reimagined under candlelight. All right. So if you love Say My Name, Survivor, Bootylicious, Independent Woman, that's my favorite song, then this night is just for you. Remember, you did not just hear these songs, you lived them. Now, experiencing them, okay, in an intimate candlelit concert that brings back every memory. Get your tickets, okay? Live musicians, candlelit atmosphere, nostalgia, emotion, all of those things will be happening in Atlanta on January 16th. Okay. There's two shows happening, one at 6:30 and one at 8:30 p.m. So make sure to go to destinyschild.com to get your tickets. You do not want to miss this, Atlanta.
The vision will pull you forward. If you can see it, whether you deserve it or not, whether your family's coming or not, whether you can afford it or not, if you can see it, the vision will pull you forward. Most of us get into the doing, and we can't do enough. You can't do enough fast enough to really sustain yourself if you can't see it. The other thing is purpose. My success has been because I've always been on purpose. I'm very clear. And I have to credit Dennis Kimbrough, Dr. Dennis Kimbrough, who inherited Napoleon Hill's manuscripts. And Dr. Kimbrough wrote Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice. 35 years ago, I saw him in the Washington Convention Center right after I wrote Acts of Faith. And he said to me, IYANLA, specialize. Don't do what everybody else is doing. Do you. This was before it was a t-shirt. Do you. What is it that you can do that nobody else is doing that will serve other people in a way that nobody else can serve him? He said, figure out, are you a writer who teaches or a teacher who writes? In the hallway of the Washington Convention Center, that thing stuck in my soul. That's what wisdom is. That's what mentorship is. That's what eldership is. And I said, am I a writer who teaches or a teacher who writes? I'm a teacher who writes. I'm not a writer. I've authored 20 books because I wrote the curriculum of what I was teaching. And I'm real clear that my purpose is to teach universal law and spiritual principle. That's what I do. Now, I dress it up and I twist it and I make fun and all of these things, but I teach universal law and spiritual principle.
And you teach us how to fix ourselves because, listen, when IYANLA Fix My Life happened, and here we are celebrating your news coming on January 17th on OWN, I remember watching the first episode, and I do wonder if you're comfortable accepting this. Okay.
Oh, I'm worthy now. Please lay it
talk
on me.
about worthiness, because you and I were recently in Los Angeles celebrating the network and the success of our shows, and the president, Tina Perry, gave you a very special shout out, and rightfully gave you the credit to launching the unscripted platform on the network. And the show that I created, Love and Marriage Huntsville, we were coming on after you. You were our lead-in. And your audience, thankfully, stayed tuned to watch Huntsville, which is why we're able to celebrate our show too. But do you receive the fact that you having Iyanla Fix My Life set up this network to be successful in the unscripted place?
I do. I absolutely do, because that's my purpose. Not Iyanla did it, but God used me to do it for a network owned by a woman whose grandmother washed clothes for white folk. Okay? I don't watch anymore only because I have my 8-year-old great grandson, and Saturday nights is a whole nother thing for us.
Okay.
Okay, so at 9:00 Saturday, I haven't been watching. I watched the first 2 seasons. That's how I knew who you were. But this is about how God's source creator can use me and you and Tina to support Miss Sophie's life. Miss Sophie washed clothes, Oprah Winfrey's grandmother, and told her, maybe one day you'll get you a job for some good white folk too.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Sophie's vision for Oprah was that she could wash clothes for white folk. And look what she did. She took that acknowledgement, that affirmation, that edification, which was the highest that her grandmother could give her, and turned it into a television network. And here I am, a Black woman, daughter of a woman who scrubbed floors and cooked for white folk. And this is not a knock against white folk. I want the white folk to watch on too. I'm just saying, as a cultural custodian, which is what I am, which is what you are, using your craft and your creative ability to elevate culture, people, community. As a cultural custodian, my loyalty, my commitment is to own a television network owned by a woman whose grandmother washed clothes. Oh, yeah. Yes, I can receive that God saw the excellence in me, in my work, my commitment to my work as a vehicle and vessel to lift Miss Sophie's granddaughter. Oh, yeah, I can receive that.
I'm glad you can, because I wanted to give you your much needed flowers with that. Not that you needed it, but I wanted to make sure that I said that as well, because listen, you were able to help launch, like you said, I'm a student of the work that you laid out, right? And we were all able to benefit from that. And as we are looking at the legacy in which you led, you had so many episodes of helping so many people. One of the people that I personally had a conversation with, a gentleman, by the name of DMX.
Oh, yeah.
Before he passed away, I was going to do a TV project with him. I had a meeting with John Sinclair.
Okay.
Who helped launch Iyanla Fix My Life, who was an executive at the time at OWN. And DMX wanted to have another conversation with you. And unfortunately, he passed away. But
no, I said no.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why.
I remember. Okay.
I'm going to tell you why. Tell the truth. Shame the devil.
Yes.
When he came out of God's Vacation Retreat Center, a.k.a. prison, I say, where you retreat to the center of your being to find God, and he was coming out and he wanted to have another conversation with me. If you remember, our first show ended with me saying, you will never get the opportunity to speak to me like that again. And I forgave myself for that. But when he came out, I said, but I don't want to do this for a show. I want to know if he's ready to do the work.
You asked me that.
And so I created this document for him to fill out, share with me where you are. And he couldn't do it. And I said, okay, so he wants to do a show. I don't do shows. Because Fix My Life wasn't a show. Fix My Life was my ministry. That's what I did, and that was my purpose. That's what I did in service to God. So that's why we didn't do that second conversation, because he wasn't ready.
And when you heard about his passing, and what occurred with, the unfortunate overdose,
I knew it was coming. I told him in the studio when we did his show, I gave him 1 year, it took 3. Because we live in a society today, and I know you know this and I know you see it, and that's why I wrote Spiritual Hygiene. And that's why I'm doing the Inside Fix. We live in a society today that will accommodate your crazy. We live in a society that almost encourages us to enable people to remain dysfunctional. We see you doing something, I have a saying that one of my students taught me, don't let me die. Don't let me die. If you see me engrossed in my crazy, if you see me celebrating my dysfunction, if you see me falling apart, don't bring me drinks and fruit. Help me, stop me, take me somewhere. Pow my butt, pour some cold water, something. People will watch you die. People watched him die. Prince, Michael Jackson, DMX, Phyllis Hyman. People will watch you die if your dysfunction is profitable for them. R. Kelly. If it's profitable, they'll participate. Don't let me die. Carlos.
I'm mesmerized by that.
All a thing. And the social media, people are making money watching us kill ourselves, watching us die. They prostitute our pain and call it reality television. And that's not what Fix My Life did. That's not what Huntsville does. There's many of them out there that aren't doing that, but there's a lot of them that are. And we're clapping and watching it. No. Mm-mm. So my commitment is God has given me this platform and the opportunity to do ministry. Fix My Life, I did the work. The Inside Fix, I'm giving you what you need to do it. Because this society has taught us to be codependent. We are waiting on somebody else to save us. Did you know that?
Yes. Yes, because the thing is this, when you are in a position of perceived power, perceived, right?
Mm-hmm.
For example, when it comes to me, people think like, oh, get me on TV. It's like, baby, there's so many steps that takes. But the reason why I say perceived power is because it's the perception of what some people have when it comes to seeing someone like you or me on television, and the perception that we can easily fix your life by giving you
what you want,
the heart of your desire.
Right, as opposed to you doing the work to get it.
Yes.
I've been refined by fire, baby. My pubic hair got singed. I didn't win nothing. I have been refined in the fire. Hear me? On my knees, scratched my knees, broke my nails. Yes, I was on television, but the work was required to do that. I buried 2 of my children. What? Oh, you want to be like me? How about that? How many kids you got? How many do you think you can go through and put them in the hole in the ground? You want to be like me? Be at 9. Be abandoned at 2. Go ahead. Come on, let's do it. I've been refined by the fire. But like you said, people will see that and think that because you're in place, let's go back to the one who makes it out. Because you're in place and you have access, that now you are obligated to give, to share. So Fix My Life was a giving and a sharing, where I went down and I pulled people up. Inside Fix is, I'm standing up here and I'm saying, come on, baby. This is how you do it. Come on. That's what the Inside Fix is.
How do you go from telling somebody you're not obligated to fix them because you are the one who made it out, without hurting their feelings or ruining the relationship? This could be a sibling, a parent, a cousin, a best friend. When they look at you and say, you made it out, and it's your job to go back there and pull me in.
No. That was 20th century. That was Piscean era. We in the 21st century and in the Aquarian age, baby. Everybody's got the power. And that's what spiritual hygiene is about. That's what the Inside Fix is about. It's about helping people remember what they forgot they knew. People forgot that they're divine because this country, this society has made us so codependent and dysfunctional. People have forgotten that they are connected to the source of everything. I don't have any more brain than you, any more heart than you, any more blood cells. I don't have any more. We all have the same thing. We all came from the same place. A sperm met an egg, went up, did the thing, boop, bop, and we here. Everybody got here the same way. Even if they got started in the little test tube, they still had to come out of hoo-ha to get here. Okay.
Facts.
Okay.
Yes.
And everybody going out of here the same way. You're going to exhale. You're not going to inhale. Done. Bye. People have forgotten who they are because our insides are broken. Not because we're not accomplished. Not because we don't have degrees. Not because we don't have money. Some of the people with the money, the craziest ones out here. I won't mention any names.
What's the initials?
And the things that people are doing for money, destroying their insides, destroying other people for money. So for me, the inside fix is about self-awareness, self-honesty, giving yourself permission to grieve your errors, your mistakes, not blaming other people, and really remembering who you are so that we can grow from the inside out, because trying to get it from the outside in is killing us. We're dying. You know how many people right now, their hair's on fire because they lost their good government job. But of course, we were told, get a good government job. Go get a high school, get you a good government job. And look what happened. And in that process of being dependent on the good government job, we forgot who we were. We forgot who our ancestors were. Our ancestors built this. If I wasn't a highly, profoundly spiritual person, I would say our ancestors built this shit. But since I'm highly spiritual, I won't say that.
Ms. Vanzant, when you look at the hundreds of episodes you've done, is there any subject that you look at, a person who you try to fix, that haunts you today that you weren't able to have a breakthrough with?
No. And I'll tell you why. Because it was God's work. Everything I did, I prayed about. Everything I did, I asked for guidance. I didn't make it up. You know, I used to drive my producers crazy because they want to do this, this, this. And I'm like, we can't do that. You know, belly to the ground, speak into the hole. All kind of just,
You told Hazel E. to read the lyrics and tell Harriet Tubman and Rosa Parks.
Pop my butt.
Pop my butt. That is viral on social media.
I know.
Hazel E., I don't know if she listened, but you tried.
Yeah, well, no, she did very well. Hazel is doing okay. Talking to Evelyn Lozada and challenging her about not telling the truth. And then 2 weeks later, she had to break down and had to come back around. I feel good about, now there are shows that I would do differently today.
What comes to mind? Which one?
Sasha the Diva out of Atlanta.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I would do that differently because in that show, I gave her and her husband and her son a commitment, agreement. And they were supposed to live up to it. If I were to do that show today, again, instead of pulling them up, I would have them create their own commitments as opposed to me giving them to them. I would want them to create their own commitments. Another show I think that I would do differently. There's so many. And I don't have dementia, I have depletion. my memory card is full. My memory card is full, so I can't remember all of them.
Okay, Control Alt Delete. Would the Braxtons be on that list for you?
The Braxtons, let me be real clear. The Braxtons did not do Fix My Life.
Correct.
I did their show.
Right.
So I'm not going to talk about that.
Okay. There's two pressing topics that I would love for you to share your wisdom when it comes to helping and fixing the lives of people as we celebrate the year 2026. One of the major things that's occurring right now that is a big topic of conversation is what happens when successful parents are raising entitled kids.
Oh, who, baby?
Because the parents made it out the mud, right? Became successful. And some parents believe that I struggled, so my kids do not. And they give their kids everything they want. And then they wake up one day and their child is 30 and he still lives at home, or you're still paying his bills and he's reliant or she's reliant on the parent. Talk to us about that, because it seems to be an epidemic that is happening strongly.
Really? In our community?
Oh, for sure, because there's this thing about kids are saying like, you got it, I got it, and why should I struggle? And parents go like, I don't want my kids to struggle. And I think what's happening is, struggling to me growing up means like you don't know where you're sleeping at night. You don't have clothes on your back. You don't have running hot water. You don't have food to eat. I told my sister, sorry, I'm putting telling your business. I told my sisters, your kids are struggling because they get to eat 3 meals a day. They get to take a bath. They have a house to live in. You did it, girl. They're not struggling. However, the extra things you're doing, they don't know what no means. You give them everything they want. And I think you have forgotten the goal, which is they're not struggling. And you are overcompensating for giving them everything because you feel like you should. And the kids don't have any sense of, I have to make it in life myself so that I'm able to take care of myself. Because mommy's always around the corner putting a little extra money in our Zelle account or Cash App.
Well, I have a chapter in my new book, Spiritual Hygiene, on spiritual hygiene for parenting. Because what you're talking about is bad spiritual hygiene for parents. I'm rich. My kids ain't.
Y'all hear that?
Okay. And I remember, I raised my children in the projects in Brooklyn, and my son had to go to work. He had to go pack groceries. I know kids don't do that anymore, but he had to pack groceries. He had to walk dogs. And I'll never forget, one of my neighbors' husbands rolled up on me one day because my son used to walk somebody's dog. And this particular time, he didn't clean up after the dog or whatever it was. So the other neighbor rolled up on me. Why do you have this boy out here working? And he's... And I said, well, first of all, sir, I am an unmarried woman and you are a man. Send your wife to speak to me. What you're saying about your sister, the kids and the thing, if we understood our culture, a lot of the things that we do as parents and as people, we would not do. We would not do. And as a part of our culture, everybody works to contribute to the family, the community. So those kids wouldn't be expecting their mothers to give or fathers to give them anything, because their responsibility is to contribute more than the parents did. I cannot tell you the number of friends I have who grew up in Africa, South Africa, West Africa, and they come here and they go to school, and their greatest gift is to put a metal roof on their parents' home. Why you need a metal roof in Africa? You do not need a metal roof in Africa. But it's a sign of contribution to where you came from. So this whole thing about entitlement and about keeping our kids from suffering. Every parent wants to give their children what they didn't have. Every parent tries to keep their children from going through what they went through. But here's the thing that parents forget. Maybe what you went through, what they have to go through, is what their soul needs to learn and to heal. And so we have to be willing to call our children higher, not lift them higher, call them higher. Call them higher is, yes, I'll give you car fare to go to work. And when you get your first check, pay it back.
Pay it back. Pay it back. I think that's good advice.
Yeah, my kids worked. I worked, they worked. Now, when I had an opportunity to employ them, I did. All of my kids have worked for me. My oldest daughter, Jamia, was my COO. My son, my youngest daughter, ran my body therapy company. So yeah, but they worked for their money.
Yeah.
They worked for it.
Yeah.
They didn't just get it, and they didn't have a Zelle. And the beauty for me is, I'm raising my 8-year-old great-grandson since my daughter passed. Her grandson, I'm raising him. And I have an opportunity to do this so different. So different. And I tell myself, IYANLA, you are raising somebody's husband and somebody's father.
Mm.
So I teach him, I say, you are a young black boy. You are a strong black boy growing into a powerful black man who's going to do great things in the world. I didn't raise my son like that. I raised my son like, stay out of trouble, keep your head down, don't get no trouble, because that's when, they were cracking black men's head in the street.
Yeah.
So I had to raise him a certain, I don't have to raise my grandson like that, So we get the opportunity to do it different. I would say to parents, let them fall. Let them hit rock bottom, because God made the rock. If you keep breaking their fall, they will never trust themselves to know that they can get up.
Powerful. That's powerful. That's going to save lives. Okay, one more topic before I let you go, Ms. Vanzant, is the other epidemic that's happening. What we know for sure is that Black women are the largest running entrepreneurs in the world, superseding their white counterparts. Because of that, they are surpassing the men in the wealth gap, the men that they're dating. What's occurring, lady, is there's a lot of Black women who make way more money than men, whether it's their husbands or men that they're dating. And what is occurring as of late...
Can I tell you?
Oh, yes.
That they think that because they make the money that they get to run the show or run the relationship? Were you going to say that?
Let's talk about it.
With
let's talk about it because one thing you said about the kids that I am going to run home and tell my sisters, child, and my brother too, is the fact that as a mother and father, you're raising your in this case your Black son.
Raising somebody's husband and somebody's father.
You are raising someone's husband and father. And for the Black women, you don't want to raise your son to be the man that you and your girlfriends talk shit about.
That's right.
Okay, excuse my language.
I said shit first.
Okay, you did. So I felt comfortable saying it. There we go. Black women who are dating men that make less money than them. And, there seems to be this dynamic that isn't working. Some women are saying the men are jealous of them. The men are saying you're emasculating me. Where do you think the issue is rising in that? Because Black women are still out-earning men, so something has to give for Black men and women to find a commonality.
In the words of the late, great El Hajj Malik Shabazz, also known as Malcolm X, we've been tricked, hoodwinked, bamboozled. We've been tricked, hoodwinked, and bamboozled. Because that thing about you got the money so you get to run it, that's not who we are.
As women.
As Black people.
Go ahead now.
We're totally out of order. That's not who we are. Because your great-great-great-grandmother may have worked in the kitchen or in the big house. So she could put some biscuits or cotton or sugar down in her apron to bring it home to feed hubby and the kids. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Or he may have been out and she may have been out in the field and would share the cotton she picked or the beans that she picked so that everybody could get paid. My point is that we have embraced a culture that has nothing to do with who we are as a people and how we measure our value and our worth nowadays. It has nothing to do with who we are. So yeah, in a male-dominated society where men get to oppress women because they make the money and she stay home barefoot and pregnant, that don't have nothing to do with us because we was barefoot and pregnant in Africa and happy to have that baby so it could go out there and work the fields and do the thing and bring the money home to the community. Yeah. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But you barefoot and pregnant, you less than me. It's going on. And I'm going to say this and I'll probably get hate mail. Just no death threats because I have to raise my great-grandson. Don't kill me. You can hate me. You don't have to kill me. What those women are doing, or people, let me not say women, what those people are doing with that, I have the money, I run the roost, you do what I say. Tell me how that's different than the leadership of this country right now. How is it different? What's the distinction that we can make between them having the money and the power and emasculating and running and what we see as the leadership of this country right now. You tell me, what's the distinction? Do you see one?
No.
Oh. We're out of order. We're out of order. I'll never forget, and this was when I was, really at the height of my publishing career. Brother asked me out on a date, and he didn't have a car. And I said, okay, how we gonna go? He said, I don't know. I said, well, do you like the bus? So I went out with a brother on the bus. I surely did. Very nice brother. We had a very nice conversation and everything, and, and he said to me at the end of the date, he said, if a woman of your caliber would go out with me, you have really taught me that I need to up my game. He said, I'm forever indebted to you. He said, I cannot believe that a woman of your caliber went out with me on the bus. I said, you know what? It was an authentic date. I'd rather go out with you on the bus than to have you rent a car that you got to turn in, 2 weeks later. Yeah. So we are just out of order, embracing things that have nothing to do with who we are, things that don't feed our souls, things that don't edify our community, things that don't edify our relationships, things that don't. Our mouths as women are just out of order. Out of order. We are just out of order. It's not our fault. It's what we've been taught to emulate. Because where do you look in the world today now that my first lady, Michelle Obama, is no longer in the White House? Where do you look today and see women of color that you can emulate, who aren't being beat up, torn down, talked about, And the ones that we do see, they get eliminated very quickly. We're out of order. And again, I'm going to ask this question again. And like I said, you can hate me, just don't kill me because I have to raise my great-grandson. When you think about the women who behave in that manner, and I don't know who they are, black, white, red, doesn't matter to me, just women in general, who behave in that manner of thinking because they make the money, they run the roost, and they can say anything out of their mouth. This right here, this is a womb. It's a womb. It is always giving birth. So I'm real conscious because I don't want to give birth to, mass murderers and and hateful things. And I don't want to give birth. This is a womb in a woman. We've got two, this one and this one. Our mouths are just out of order. And I don't care if they hate me for that. Because some of the things that I hear women say to each other or about each other, it's violent because they're birthing that. So the women who do that, look at the leadership of this country right now. Going for the money, diminishing people who are less than, what's the distinction? One has a hoo-ha, one has a pee-pee.
That's good. That's good. Do you hate the term boss chicks? Boss women?
I don't hate it. I just think it's been misused. Yeah. Because do you want to be a boss or do you want to be a leader? I'm not a boss. I am a leader. I don't want to be a boss because bosses are responsible for other people. And I told you, I don't have dementia, but I got depletion. My memory card is full. I don't want to be responsible for nobody but my little 8-year-old. Close your mouth.
You're changing lives. Instead of saying I'm a boss, be a leader. And I think what is sort of slowly happening now is a lot of my girlfriends, because I'm in my 40s, we grew up together, high school, college, interning, production assistants, all those things. They were raised by their mothers and grandmothers and aunties, whatever. Be a boss, right? And all of my girlfriends, Miss Vanzant, all of them, 100% of them, and these are black women, in their 40s, they woke up and said, wow, I spent all these years being the boss, that I don't have a husband.
I'm broke down. I got gout in my feet and tuberculosis in my eye.
And they want this. They want to revert back to like I want a soft life.
Yeah.
I want a man to be the leader of the household. I want to be able to bear children. I want to be a wife. And they feel like I was set up to be this accomplished woman, and I look at my life now and I have nothing to show for it?
Well, because again, we are following a paradigm that is not who we are as a people, particularly us. And I'm brown and black. I'm brown, red, and black. Black, African American, Latin, and indigenous. And I don't have to go to the DNA to find it. My grandmother was born on the reservation, you know. So we're following a paradigm that has nothing to do with who we are. And we're dying as a result. What is a boss? A boss is responsible for other people and what they think and what they do and boo-boo-boo. I'm not a boss. I'm a leader. And as a leader, I want you to be responsible for yourself so that we can walk a vision out together, so that we can walk a plan out together. I want to be able to support you and you able to support me so that when we get there together. But we following this paradigm of every man for himself when he hits the beach and step over whoever you need to step over and on to get to where you go. And that's not who we are. And this women just using their womb space as a weapon, it's violent. Some of the things I hear women say is violent. It's just violent. And I'm not saying men don't, but as a woman of indigenous and African culture, I'm not going to speak out against a man in public. I will pull him over in the corner because that's a soft place. I want to be a soft place for him to fall and not a brick upside his head.
Ms. Vanzant, I thank you so much for the honor of this conversation as we start the new year that is going to change lives. And not only are we changing lives in this conversation, Iyanla, Inside the Fix.
The Inside Fix.
Inside Fix,
Yeah.
January 17th.
Am I leading you in? Am I leading Huntsville in again?
Babe, I think we're following you back.
But you know, I have to give props because Sweetie Pies led me in for a long time.
And that's how it works.
Sweetie Pies led me.
Yes.
And then we flipped it and I led them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And no, leave me all the days, baby. I need it. Just talk to the audience about the show and why they should watch it.
The Inside Fix. And again, this time I'm giving people the tools that they use. We have created a worksheet for every single episode. So yes, watch the show and get involved with the characters, but then go back and say, okay, how do I do that? Mm-hmm. Where is that in my life? What is it that I need to come up on? What is it I need to release? Every show has a worksheet because I want people to remember what they forgot they knew. Oh, Carlos, we know how to do this. We know how to build civilizations. We know how to take care of each other. I mean, Harriet Tubman, an epileptic, to come back and forth in and out of slavery. She was already free. We know how to do this. But we don't because we've embraced a paradigm and a structure and a culture and a system that doesn't have anything to do with the truth of who we are. So many of us are living a lie. Mm. And what I'm saying is, come on, baby. I'm not coming down there to get you. Come on. Come on. You know why? Because I trust you. I have faith in you. I see your greatness. Come on. Come on. Don't do that. Come on. Come on. The Inside Fix. Because until we fix the inside, the outside is going to stay jacked up.
And make sure y'all watch it. Ms. Vanzant, thank you so much for this.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Let me knock your mic down.
Oh, I'm honored. You have no idea.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, my love.
Thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You have